LA County has more children in foster care than any other county in the U.S., more than 30,000 kids. Later today, the organization CASA of LA will hold a news conference in Monterey Park to encourage more people to step up as volunteers. Joining me now to talk about this, Wende Julien of CASA of LA. Thank you so much for being here for this very important topic.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
It's such a pleasure. So there's a press conference later today. What are you guys going to be talking about? What's the goal?
So I think everybody knows that when you say there are 30,000 children in this system who've experienced abuse and neglect, that we need foster parents, and we do, but there are also other ways to help, and that's what CASA of Los Angeles provides, is an opportunity for people to get involved as a court-appointed special advocate, a CASA, so that they can change the life of a child without bringing them into their home or taking the opportunity to be a foster parent.
So what does that look like? Because we hear so much about how complicated adoption is, and of course that's a little bit different, but what are the rules and the requirements of being able to foster?
So I can tell you, because I've done both, so becoming a foster parent or an adoptive parent is a 24/7 exercise. You are incorporating a child into your life and your home and your heart. Becoming a CASA is a much more limited opportunity. So it's about 10 to 15 hours a month where you accompany the child to court, you visit them at school, you write a report for the judge making recommendations. It's something really anyone can do, working people, retired people, because it's a much lesser commitment, but still has a huge impact on a child's life.
Yeah, I can imagine. So there's a wait list of children in LA County that exceeds 300. Can you elaborate on that?
So like you said, there are 30,000 open cases in our dependency courts, and CASA has identified 12,000 of those children who need an advocate immediately, but we have 300 cases that are vetted, so they're ready to go. They're just sitting there on our list waiting for people to step up and volunteer.
Wow, so you went through some of the responsibilities. So what is the process of being able to sign up as a CASA?
It's pretty simple because we've used a lot of technology to help people. So everyone around Los Angeles County can access the CASALA.org website, and there's an information session online, and then we provide a very thorough training that helps people learn about the system, about social workers, about the lawyers that work with children, about the court, and then we provide a staff member who will be the advocate for the CASA volunteer so that you'll have someone to check in with all the time.
So, okay, so you did a really good job sort of laying out the requirements and what you guys are looking for. So let's talk just really briefly about what these kids are going through while they're in the system.
So I think part of the reason I like doing this in December around the holidays is that we think about how joyful children are, and all of our children are very joyful, including children who have experienced some things that nobody wants to talk about, child abuse and neglect and really difficult situations. And what our kids need is the same thing that all kids need. They need a caring adult, they need people they can count on, they need good schools, they need opportunities to go to the doctor and get mental health care, and that's what a CASA volunteer is able to do, is make sure they're getting access to all those resources they need so that kids can be kids and they can think about the presents that they want and about their fun end of school year activities.
That makes sense. And I understand you have a personal connection to this?
I do, yeah. So I'm a former foster parent and adoptive parent, so this work is very personal to me. And I can tell you, for me, I went into this thinking I would do something to help a child, and the result has really been that I've learned much more from her and gotten much more from her than I ever could imagine.
That's great, because I think there's also some, it seems like such a huge task that people hear all of these different challenges as well too, so it's nice to hear that it's something that gives back to you. It's not just a one-way charity.
It's definitely a challenge, but it's a challenge that is changing a young person's life, that gives the volunteer, I think, a sense of really tremendous purpose, and also gives this young person who's a member of our community a chance to have justice and love and experience what we want for all of our kids.
Amazing. I already told you before this is one of my favorite topics. It just seems so important, and it's so cool that you guys are doing this press conference, kind of letting people know just ahead of Christmas how they can help. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
It was such a pleasure.